a little bit about. We are going to go back to Real Madrid a bit later. Spurs are linked with Eze, Henry, and I've heard that this. You've said it earlier that there's talk that Eze to Spurs could be quite advanced soon.
Yeah, I personally, just my opinion, I think it's 75, 80% chance going to happen. And the only way it doesn't happen for me is if a bigger club comes in. I think it's a similar situation to a...
So a great chance of that happening then.
Well, I look at the teams in the Premier League. I mean, Arsenal won't go in for him because they've got an Odegaard and they've already got creativity. Man City have got creativity coming out their backside. Chelsea have already come out and said Nkunku or Palmer's going to play in the 10. Do they need another 10 being in the Conference League? Newcastle financially on FFP have to sell Isak, a Gordon or a Bruno Guimaraes to be able to sign him. So I look across the Premier League. The only other team is Man United, in my opinion, if a Bruno goes. Because they're already linked to Elise, and I don't see Palace selling both of them this window. I think in terms of the way we play, James Maddison this season, I think a lot of people can say hasn't turned up to the level we thought he would. And Eze has had a much better season, especially towards the end. I thought he was brilliant. He's under the same agency as 80% of our squad. When we played Crystal Palace, we gave him and his family a box. So you see the way James Maddison's putting out pictures. Look, I think it's going to happen. And I know Maddison's a bit of a PR merchant from time to time. The question is, where does he play in our system? Because I get it's a squad game and I get, rotation is going to be very important. But can you play Maddison and Eze in the same lineup, knowing the fact that we've got so many forwards, whether they're good enough or not? Could Eze play out wide in the front three in a Postecoglou system, which is so reliant on pace? I don't know. And then if we start rotating Maddison, he's got attitude problems in the past. There's a few question marks on the deal, but I do think 75, 80% chance it'll happen.
A mad question is, why would he leave Palace, who might very well finish above Spurs next season? You never know. Based on how they've been since Glasner's come in, they look absolutely.
Yeah, he's a very good coach, but
they might get decimated. But I wouldn't say there's no chance of that happening at all. I'd say like that Spurs and Palace would be close. I genuinely believe.
Apparently, there's a gentleman's agreement between Eze and the club that he is allowed to move this summer if the right offer comes in. So. I didn't think they'd sell Eze and Elise, but it looks like it could well happen. I think it's a little bit insulting to say we're on the same level as Palace, Paddy.
No, you aren't as a club. No,
Paddy, don't disrespect Palace like that, bruv. Come on now.
Yeah, no. Listen, I mean, like if you look at the I don't know when it's from, but like Palace are like first in a form table from a certain period of time. Like Palace have been unbelievable under Glasner, and I mean he usually has like a 2-year stint at clubs, and they'll be decent next year. Now, obviously, if they lose both Elise and Eze, then okay, but. Yeah, I honestly I like Spurs. I think they're a grand old club. They gave us the Champions League by being shit. So, no disrespect to them.
I don't think it'll happen though.
I generally don't know where he fits in on the basis of how Postecoglou plays. I think he's a very good player. I don't think he's a Postecoglou winger, and therefore I don't know where he fits in.
Because he fits in the 10. Because listen, I know it was one. I know it was one. I know it's only 1 year, but I sort of. Just gut feeling, could be wrong. I feel like James Maddison showed the world last season why none of the other big clubs over the three or four previous seasons went in for him. Started like a freight train, and I know he had the injury. What did he miss? A month? Maybe 5. Did he miss 3 months?
Yeah, 3 months.
3 months. But he came back, and there was more than enough time for him to get his mojo back, and he absolutely didn't, and he faded. And I think that the fact that people in the first 2 months of the season were saying he's light years ahead of Bruno Fernandes makes me laugh. He just isn't of that level, in my opinion. So listen, I think it would be an amazing sign for Spurs in the sense of your progression if you literally were to replace James Maddison within a year with someone like Eze to play. And it would show we ain't standing still. We are going to try to continually
we play both though.
If you might play, yeah.
I think we're going to go to a 3 at the back next season. Like I think the only 2 fullbacks from 3 weeks time, we're out and out fullbacks we're going to have is Udogie and Porro. Royale is on the cusp of joining AC Milan. Reguilon's going to be, I think his contract's going to be ripped up. Sessegnon's contract's not getting renewed. There's a lot of that Doherty from Luton has been heavily linked. He's predominantly a left midfielder, but had played left back. I think we'll play Dragusin, Van der Ven, and Romero, and then have an extra space for a midfielder. That's the only way I can see it working. But like the only thing Postecoglou hasn't really done magnificently the back end of the season is our attack has not improved. We've looked absolutely woeful in a lot of games. If we're 5 or 6, 8 or 9 games down the line and Eze doesn't start to perform, I don't know. Is Ange the right manager for all these different attacking options? I don't know. I think he's a very much system manager. And you saw that at Celtic. Like, I'm surprised he hasn't signed Matt O'Reilly. Like, he, for our system, would be absolutely brilliant, but I don't know.
I think Eze would absolutely do amazing at your club, and I wouldn't want you guys to sign him personally. Arsenal Academy boy, I wouldn't want him to go to Tottenham, but if he does end up going to Tottenham, I think he would do well. Yeah,
I gotta give you a blessing, Senegal. Yeah.
I don't think you have to worry. I don't think you have to worry. I don't think you have to worry about how he would fit in. This is a player who can play all sorts of positions, and his output. I think when he's in a better team, you're just going to see much more output, better output from him. Because what we've seen in the back end of the season from Elise, Mateta, and Eze shows that he can consistently perform. He just needs to stay fit and be in a side that with the quality that you guys have, I think it would be very scary.
Yeah, he's a quality player. I mean, Spurs getting him. It's weird that people talk about him and Elise's injury problems. I keep hearing it, but I looked at both. Both of them had 4 injuries in their entire career. It's not like they're not injury-prone players.
Maybe Palace is just.
I just think certain players can get. Maybe it's because people don't watch Palace every week, and maybe on the 2 or 3 occasions they've watched a Palace game, they were injured, so it's kind of stuck in their head a little bit. But yeah, I think Eze will be an absolutely phenomenal signing. And the good thing is, if Elise goes Man United or Chelsea and Eze leaves and goes elsewhere, Palace are probably going to be an easier team to play. So it helps everybody to a certain degree, if that makes sense. Because those two, I think most of us have suffered at their hands at some point in the last 3 to 4 years. So that's a good sign. But I mean, yeah, definitely a better signing than Timo Werner as well. Definitely a better direction than re-signing him, which I still find strange and don't really understand why Spurs have done that.
It's simple. It's a cheap deal.
This narrative, I don't like. For once, I actually am on the club side here. We're going to lose 3 forwards this summer, and he's not going to play week in, week out. Plus, we're in the Europa League. Like, we all know his quality is nowhere near the level, but Solomon's going to go, Brian Hill's going to go, and we don't have
Solomon just signed, didn't he?
Yeah, but that's political, that side of things.
Yeah.
I'm not getting
Fuck
into
Solomon.
That's political, that side of things.
I don't even know what that's about. I'm not even going to ask.
Brian Hill is absolute. He looks like the geezer from The Big Bang Theory. I've seen more meat on a chip. He's useless. He'll go. Solomon will go. So the only natural left winger we've got is Son. And Son in this system is going to be the striker. So if Son plays up front, we don't have a left winger. So everyone's going, oh, Levy strikes again. I'm not a Levy in person, but it's a loan deal. Like, relax. It's a loan deal until next summer. Then he rejoins Leipzig. He's not going to start 38 games in the Premier League, is he?
You guys are going to end up signing him, I bet you.
Nah. Even if we do it, it'll be like he's not going to start.
Hey, Werner's not the worst. At least he runs his arse off. You know, he can't finish, but neither can Darwin Núñez, and Liverpool fans love him. So, you know, Timo's he seems like a good lad. You know, let him cook. It's only a loan deal as well. Who cares? Like, it's not that big of a deal. You know, if they spunk loads of money on him, I know they're giving him wages, but like, it's not like.
I mean, how much is he on a week, Timo Werner?
That's a different argument.
200 grand.
What is he? Is he? Oh, well, fair enough then. Maybe that's a bit... Okay, fair enough. I take that back completely.
I thought they were going to buy wingers this summer, Tottenham. I thought that was the big problem, Eddie, they had in the squad, because no one on the left really worked. And on the right, Brennan Johnson, inconsistent. Kulusevski, inconsistent. I thought that was the area that they were really going to target this summer. But if anything, it seems like Ange wants to go narrow, buy a bunch of 10s and really compact the middle. And then maybe what he was doing last year with Porto and Udogie, them going into the middle, maybe they now plays more traditional wing backs, go wide, and it becomes like almost a narrow 3-10 setup where he's got so many creative outlets there that eventually, let's say Maddison's having a bad game, just goes to Eze, or it goes to whoever else they sign. Maybe that's how he tries to go next. I don't really know what the plan is for Tottenham. And it seems weird that because I thought you'd made a lot of good steps last summer. But Eze, I like the player. I just don't know where he fits in. And that's
Maybe it's a good thing because when people don't like your transfer window, you tend to do good. And when people like your transfer window, it was one of your worst transfer windows. So
sound like you're speaking from experience, there you go.
no, think about it.
It happens. I mean, I do remember when Arsenal signed Ben White and their fans were getting mental. That summer was an interesting one. We have some super chats here. This one's a question to Henry. Says Henry, the expert, Jason Love or Johnny Sins?
This is madness.
Johnny Sins.
You made one reference.
Yeah, one reference, and this must be the 6th super chat in 2 weeks. I've had regard. I'm not even going. Johnny Sins, fuck it. That's what I'm saying.
Johnny Sins. I'm going to ask you one. Which one do you subscribe to? Elbrook or Astrid Wet?
Astrid all day.
I mean, we're talking about
Astrid's actually like, listen, online, fair enough. As a person, she's actually so sound. Like, she's actually a very nice person. Great tits.
Yeah, it's a mad question, though, isn't it?
Do you know what it is? I don't get people's like anger and hatred towards them. I just feel like live and let live a little bit. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot more important things to be angry about in the world than what some young ladies do for a living. But there we go.